What's up, guys? It's Meg, and it's that time of the week again where we get to talk about the best show on television, AMC's The Walking Dead. Today we're talking about season 5, episode 15, called Try. What did you guys think of the episode last night? I thought that it was a lot slower, and it didn't really thrill me. I liked it. I liked parts of it. I didn't like other parts of it, but it was, I found it kind of funny that everyone's like, oh my god, it was such an intense episode. What was intense about it? I mean, I guess maybe the Rick and Pete fight was kind of intense, but I didn't really think it was really much of anything, to be honest with you. And I'm probably going to get a lot of hateful comments on this, like I've been getting a lot of lately. Guys, be nice. But you know, I wasn't super thrilled with it. It definitely wasn't one of my favorites. Probably the best part for me was seeing more signs of the wolves and knowing that Daryl and Aaron are tracking them now, and unfortunately probably going to be curious enough to go see what's going on with them and who these people are, which I really wish they would just not do that. But like I said, probably the best part was we've got a pretty good idea of what the W's are now and when they were placed on these walkers. So we see Daryl and Aaron at the very end of episode 14, I think, or at the beginning of episode 15. Now I can't remember, but we see them see a light out in the distance, and Daryl says there's people out there, so they are going after these people to try and, you know, obviously recruit them if they're good and not if they're bad. When they get to that general area, they see the dismembered body, the torso and head missing again, just like in Shirewell. We saw all the torsos, and then off to the one side we saw all of the limbs. So, and we don't see the torso anywhere, so we know that it's likely that these wolves took the torso with them. Why? We don't have any idea. They seem like pretty sick, twisted people, to be honest with you. I mean, I think they're rivaling Terminus right now and the termites. Hopefully they're not eating them, but I think they're pretty disgusting, horrible people. So as they're walking through the woods, you know, their guard is up, and they come across a woman tied to a tree, and she has had her stomach ripped out and she's been eaten by walkers. And Daryl and Aaron say that she was eaten alive. She was tied to the tree and left there, and the walkers ate her. And she has a W carved in her head. I mean, what could she have possibly done to these people that would be so bad that they would tie her to a tree? Nothing. I honestly think these wolves, these people that maybe call themselves the wolves, whatever, are just, I think they're tracking people as well. And when they find new people, I think they're just killing them for the fun of it. I don't think there's really any purpose to the W's except that they're tagging them. Just like how they tagged in Shirewell the wolves not far, and we saw it on the barn that one time, wolves not far. I think that it's just like almost like a gang. Not really, but you know, when they're spray painting the sides of buildings. I think the W's they're marking their victims, to be honest with you. They're marking them and then turning them into walkers. Oh, I'm gonna sneeze, hold on. Oh, excuse me, sorry, gross. Either way, you know, we obviously don't know for sure the purpose of these W's and what this group is all about, but we know that they are bad people. We know that. I'm sure that they're not Negan. I'm sure that it's not the Whisperers. I know that a lot of people have been saying that. I'm sure of it. It's not. I mean, I would be so surprised if it suddenly turned out to be Negan. I mean, it's just not. It's not. We have a lot of story left before we get to him. So, and the Whisperers is so far past that. I can't imagine that they would ruin that whole storyline just to bring it into Alexandria. It seems really stupid. And also, I mean, just because it's a W, it's just not. It's not. Get that thought out of your brain right now. It's not. So I'm sure there's going to be some kind of crazy confrontation between Daryl and Aaron and these wolves, these people. Because we know in the season finale that Daryl gets himself into some kind of trouble. There's probably going to be some cliffhanger with him. I don't think he's going to die. I really don't. But I think there's definitely going to be some kind of big confrontation, something like that. I can't remember exactly what happens in the comics. I might read it, I might not. I kind of like being surprised. but I don't know. I'm not sure yet. I might read it just to see if I can get a hint. I kind of think I know what's going to happen though, and based on what I do remember. But yeah, that was probably the best part for me from the episode, was just learning more about these wolves and briefly seeing Daryl and Aaron. I really like their dynamic. I really like them together. I think this is a good job for Daryl, although I hate that it puts him in danger. But I really like Aaron's character. He's funny, but really cool, you know, when you get to know him. And him and Daryl seem like they're a lot alike. Probably the other biggest part of the episode was the Rick and Pete fight and the whole culmination to that. I'll be honest with you, I feel like the storyline on television it feels really forced to me, and it doesn't feel as natural as it did in the comics. In the comics, it just flowed naturally, and this was just, I mean, it seems so natural for Rick to feel this way about Jesse, and Jesse and Pete to have this bad dynamic in their household, you know, and for Jesse and Rick to fall in lust, in love. They were not together that long, so I doubt it's could be considered love, but you know, it was nice to see Rick at that point feel something before he fell in love with Andrea. But in this, I mean, it just, I know they're not really showing us kind of the time frame that this whole thing is taking place. I don't think it's like one day he meets Jesse and then it just jumps to the next day. I think there's like a week here in between, you know, and there's interactions that you're not seeing. But when he goes to Jesse's house and confronts her about it, I mean, that seemed okay. But then when he follows her into the house and their whole just say yes, oh my God. It was so cheesy. Like, I was laughing because it's so stupid. And I hate the way Rick's acting. I think that it's so not natural for his character. And I liked the storyline from the comics. It was a great storyline. I love the way it ended. I'm not going to spoil that at this point, but I love the way it ended. It was crazy and shocking, and I loved that. But the way they're putting it on screen, it's just really bothering me. And I believe, you know, at the very end when Rick is covered in blood and Pete is on the ground and he's waving his gun around, you know, and he looks like a psychopath. I mean, he looks like he's just gonna kill everyone. And while I agree with what he was saying, you know, at the same time, I do agree with Michonne knocking his ass on the ground. Maybe she didn't need to hit him so hard, but, you know, I'm not super thrilled that it was her that did it. Although I understand that was from the comics. I don't remember that, unfortunately. But, you know, I agree with what he's saying. I also agree that he took it too far. I don't like how crazy he's acting over Jesse. Like, it just bothers me. It doesn't feel right in the show. And that's probably going to get me a lot of hate, so bring it. I'll just delete your comments anyways. So, moving right along, I also feel like we don't know what's going to happen now. We've seen the previews for the season finale. Deanna is also already, she's broken up about her son being gone. She was already not, you know, she was hearing what Gabriel was saying. Now she's heard what Nicholas is saying, and she's concerned, and she's not necessarily trusting of Rick now and Rick's group now, because, you know, it's her son that was killed, and she's been with Nicholas a lot longer, you know, and I think she's more likely to trust him, even if she is a great poker player and can tell when someone's lying. I just feel like she blames Rick's group, and we saw that when she burned the sympathy card from Carol. Like, we saw how angry she was, and she blames Rick's group for her son's death, and there's no getting around that. So she's not going to go easy on Rick. And we see in the preview that she wants the community to talk about Rick and decide his fate, essentially. So, I don't know. It's all up in the air. I don't think that they're going to get a chance to kick him out of Alexandria, to be honest with you. I think something's going to happen and he's going to prove his worth, and, you know, he's probably going to become the leader or something, although I don't know if that's going to happen that quickly. Moving right along so that this review doesn't get too long, we know that Tara is okay for now. She, I believe, is still unconscious. I think it's still kind of up in the air whether or not she's going to survive, but I think at this point it's safe to say she will survive. We also see Carl and Eden growing closer. Again, it was a little bit cheesy for me, but I am happy to see that Carl has someone he can relate to. Someone who has, you know, Eden has been on the outside for a while and she's seen a lot of stuff just like Carl. She's been through a lot. Her parents aren't alive anymore as far as we know. So she has definitely been in the kind of the same situation that Carl has been in, and it's nice for him to have someone to relate to. I'm not super interested in seeing him having a relationship with anyone, only because I feel like he's still so young. What is his age supposed to be in the show right now? Remind me, because is he supposed to be like 15 in the show? Or is he supposed to be older? Because I thought he was a lot younger when the season started, and it's only been like 2 years. So tell me how old he's supposed to be, because I cannot remember. But there's been a lot of speculation on whether or not Eden is a spy or something for the wolves. I really don't think so. I don't. I think she's just running on the outside, kind of like how Daryl needs to be on the outside, you know, and kind of like how Sasha needs to be on the outside right now. That's where they feel comfortable. They're in their element, you know, and it's hard to put yourself back into a normal society. Also, obviously, we see Sasha is having a terrible time dealing with Noah's death and everything. I mean, it's just one death right after another that has really bothered her and is really taking its toll on her. And we just see her break down and cry after she nearly loses her life. She would have died if it hadn't been for Michonne and Rosita. So, I don't know. You know, I know they're going with her being the sniper, becoming a version of Andrea from the comics, but I wonder when she's actually going to get there, because she's going through a lot, and I think something's going to have to change to snap her out of that. I wish I knew what it was. That's it for the review of this episode, guys. Like I said, I thought it was a lot slower. Didn't really love it, but also didn't hate it. I cannot wait for the season finale. It's going to be 90 minutes. It's going to be crazy. I cannot wait. That's it for today. I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.